Nicky Hawkins outside of London Stadium, West Ham Fan TV. Dave, I'm fuming, to be honest with you. I thought that was pathetic.
Yeah, but I mean, before we talk about the football, you know, I don't want to show my age, but I was a year old when he played his last game for West Ham, and my first memories of televised football was, of watching football, I should say, was sort of summer of '94 with the World Cup in the USA and that. So, you know, I'm too young to remember Billy Bonds at West Ham, but for all the events I've been to and all the ex-players I've spoken to, or I've heard speak, as I should say, you know, you speak to older fans and that as well, you know, the love and the respect and the reverence that they hold for him, you know, puts the importance of today's game, I think, maybe on the back burner a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I echo them. I know we're sitting here moaning about that, but we've lost a true legend today. It's up there with Bobby,
Yeah.
but in terms of importance of a man that we've lost today.
Absolutely. There's two things I want to touch on there. Two things that one thing I heard that Sky Sports didn't mention the passing until about 25 minutes into their coverage today. I'm sorry, we're not a minnow. We're not a small football club. We're not this irrelevance. We might not be, you know, Liverpool, Arsenal or Chelsea with a global reach and the trophies in the cabinet, but when our best or our most capped player, one of our best, I mean, he's an undisputed. If we talk about Mount Rushmore, West Ham like legends, he's on there.
He's on there, yeah.
He's no one's quibbling with that. No one. So to not start your coverage, I don't expect, you know, eulogy videos and memorial and so on. Obviously, it was very. I found that on the train over here. But to not start your coverage with that is poor. And secondly, I was chatting to an older fan before the game and a friend of mine, and he said when Bobby Moore passed, everyone went to the Lowell Gates, didn't they? And you see all the, you know, the T-shirts and the scarves and the flowers. Where are we going to have that here? Where are we gonna have that?
Gates are still in there. Maybe
Yeah.
they let us put them in there.
Are we going to go in a club shop and tie our scarves and our shirts up in a way that
Probably sell them to us.
exactly? Oh, they will. They'll take every opportunity they get to monetise it. But I hope in the coming 24 hours or so that, you know, the club makes some sort of arrangement for fans, because obviously right now, you know, this is a club in mourning. It's a club in grief. I think maybe if you know, he passed earlier in the week, I think today would have been a bit more local, a bit more vocal, a bit more loud in memorial of him and in love for him. But right now, I think, you know, it's a fan base in the club in mourning. So in the coming days, I think they need to come out. So by Thursday night, I'm sure Man United, you know, the fans will sing loud and proud and come.
Obviously, it was on the way over here. I found out it was just released about, I think, 11:30 or something like that.
Something like that. And then, you know, just as well, a little thing I noticed, but they put his image up in the 4th minute, and normally you do it for the whole minute, and it got to about 45 seconds, and you've taken it down and replaced it with a gambling advert, and I thought that was poor from the club. Whoever's in charge of that has got to be asked a question on why they didn't leave it up the 4 minute. But yeah,
Back to the football.
But do you know what? Genuinely, I thought they tried to do him proud. I really thought they tried to do him proud today. You know, that's not a great Liverpool team, and they'll take the 3 points, but it doesn't mask that they're not the side they were last year. But we gave it a go, and
I disagree here. I disagree, because I think we could have had a much better go than that. I think Paqueta was poor. The only thing he done was got sent off for arguing. I think Bowen was poor. I think he needs to step up, and I think he's got to take a bit of responsibility for today, because I think they was both poor.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, like, in terms of the attitude and the fight, I do think we tried to match him. In terms of the ability, look, you know, he made a bold decision in dropping Kilman. It was the right decision. It's been a long time coming. I think he's had to wait for someone to come back fully fit that he trusts. But that was the right call. But you look at that bench, and it's like, what? Why is Irving there? Why is Guido? You know,
That's all we got, mate.
Put George Murphy on there. Put Callum Marshall on.
He's not going to put him on there.
No, but at least you've got something you can bring on. Like, George Murphy would have done more off that bench. You know, when we was out of options, the guy can kick and take the ball in the half, turn it and create chances. He can do something. You know, let's stop wasting appearances on people that. I mean,
Fulkrug.
yeah. I mean, like, we've all, you know, I got a lot of love for the guy for what he came out. You know, he's coming out last year, and he was, you know, he showed some honesty and he showed some understanding with the fans when we played Southampton. and but he shouldn't be. It's a sign of how bad our transfer windows have been that we haven't relied on Callum Wilson for 70 minutes when he should be a player that's coming on for the last half hour to give us something different when we need it, and we're giving Fulkrug those minutes that he's not good at. I say he's not good enough for, but he's not suited for the Premier League. What Paqueta was doing as well for that red card is
It's two in a minute. It's two in a minute. The same argument.
Once she's booked you for giving it that, walk away. And for the if as a captain, you've got to pull him away. You've got to have the leadership to go, look, right, get out of this. I'm going to deal with this now. I'm going to take this over. You're not adding anything to this because we still had chances. Once it went down, if you've got 11-11.
You got. Listen, he's got the manager's there. You got to say to him, he's lost his head. Get him off. He weren't doing anything anyway.
No, he's not really done anything, has he? Since he's done that celebration against Forest, I don't think he's done anything meaningful since then. It's one of those you sort of pick him. I think for all of us, he's probably now. Maybe not now. Maybe on the basis of today, you go, do you know what? Magassa played well. Let's give Magassa his flowers. He had a good performance.
I thought he was good, really good.
Freddie Potts, if you called the season off now, would be hammer of the year, and I don't think there'd be too many discussion that anyone else has earned it.
Fernandes was good.
And Fernandes was, he's trying to get the ball and he's trying to move things forward and he's trying to progress things. He's trying to. Maybe when Somerville's fit now, Paqueta's lost his place. If an offer comes in January, you've got to consider it. You've got to consider any offer that comes in January for him. Because we can't. It's one thing when, things aren't coming out of you, but there's only so many times you can do little show pony tricks and flicks when there's no one within 5 yards here before people are like, all right, now we want to see that killer ball, now we want to see that end product, now we want to see you go and do something.
It never comes, mate, from him. I'm sorry, but it doesn't.
And ever since Moyes left, ever since that betting thing, that Man City move fell through. You can make the excuse for him for a while that, obviously he's going through a lot and he's got to he's got that on his plate and he's got that on his mind. But that's past him. And right now, the minute the FA put that to bed, he should have been fired up enough to say, you know what, now I'm coming out. Once he'd done that celebration and he scored against Forest, that should have been the moment for him to kick on. That should have been the moment for him to get back to what he was. That wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and I agree. Where do we go? Man United next. They looking decent this season.
Yeah, they had a good winter day and they seem to have turned it around, but it would be typically West Ham to go up there with a little bit of motivation, a little bit of fire, and go and surprise them. We've done it before. We've beaten Man United at Old Trafford as underdogs. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is. Maybe, look, I don't think we will. I'm not putting money on it, but you've got to try and stay a little bit positive. You've got to have a little bit of hope because. It's a long way to go on a Saturday afternoon, but on a Thursday night, it's going to be a horrible.
I'll see you up there.
You will indeed, yeah. I'll see you up there.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Yeah.